Alrighty, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hope everyone is doing well. Today is June the 27th. It's a Friday today. You can see the markets are rallying once again towards the upside. We mentioned QQQs are at all-time highs. SPY was the next one that was going to gravitate towards your highs, and it did hit your all-time highs here in the pre-market. We'll talk about this. Super solid retest right off our previous day highs yesterday on SPY. That was the hold of your 610 level for that pushback towards the upside, and we got that. As for the semis are still very strong in the market. We'll talk about all these charts I'm looking at coming into today. Before we do that, what's up, everyone? Good morning. Good morning. What's up, B Roots? Have a great weekend. Anyone else trading the opening range? Do you be in touch with the open? Yeah, so a lot of people, right? Opening range is just a setup that we use. A lot of people use that setup as well. Good morning. What's up, Jeff? Diego? Strike price and expiration. Good rule of thumb, weeklies. One out the money. It depends if you're swing trading or if you're day trading, but primarily day trading. Weeklies, one out the money. What's up, JT? Good morning. KO, Damien, Leon, Martin, Wayne, Paul, Juan, Josh. Good morning, Ryan, Robert, Darth, Monty. What's up, Daniela, Yaritzia, if I pronounce that right. Yate, what's up? Teddy, Robert, Katrina, Kenneth, Shade, Kin. Yeah, good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. Today is Friday. We do have, let me see the Forex calendar. Let me get that pulled up here as well. So coming into today, we do have some red folder news that is going to be at 8:30. Along with revised consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. So for the overall market, we're at all-time highs. You can see if you go into the QQQ daily time frame, we're at all-time highs. We expected this move up and towards all-time highs after we had this very bullish reaction here on Monday. The next logical scenario was for SPY to hit all-time highs, and now you can see we actually just hit all-time highs here on the SPY. If you have the just the contracts on or off, either way, right, we hit all-time highs. You can mention it yesterday or today. If you look at the actual SPX, you can see it's about to hit it, or now we're gonna have that gap up. So we hit it today here. So overall indices, we both hit all-time highs on the SPY and the Qs. Now what we have to base it off of is going to be the futures chart. So the next one to hit all-time highs is going to be, right, the NQ all-time highs. So we have a couple key levels. We have, now we can mark out this, or 22,737, along with your all-time highs on the futures contracts being your 22,870. For the ES, similar thing, it's going to be this high. Plus, we're also going to mark out your all-time highs on the futures contracts. The reason why they're different is because of the contract rollover. So every single quarter, the contracts roll over since they do have expiration, whereas SPY or SPX, they don't have adjust for dividends. You don't have the contract rollover. So that's why there's a little bit of a discrepancy. So you can click the bottom right here. If you want to change this, you can change this to adjust for contract changes, or if you have that turned off, then you can see we're at all-time high. So personally, I'll have this turned on. As for SPY, you can do either as well. You can turn it on or off. So for the SPY coming into today, let's actually just mark out some of the levels that we have. Let me get rid of some levels here as well. So coming into yesterday, the key levels that we have marked out was it was our 608. So our 608.50, our previous day highs. This is the exact level we want to see the market hold. Really solid buyers stepping in right off our previous day highs. And the next logical level was our all-time highs on the SPY, which is our 613. We also had our 611, which was a daily key pivot high here as well. So if I turn this off, you can see, go back onto the daily time frame, you can see 611 and 613 all-time highs. So now for the overall market, as you can see, key levels for SPY, since we do have this gap up, is going to be, we have two levels coming into today. We have our previous day highs, which is also in combination with our 611, and we also have this 613 all-time highs in on the daily chart all the way back from earlier of this year. So we can have this level marked out, and we can drag this over. which is going to be our 611. And then we can also have our all-time highs marked out along with our pre-market lows. So coming into today here for the SPY, we already hit one of our main objectives. My main objectives was your all-time highs. If we do want to see potential continuation in the overall markets, it's going to be the hold above your 613. I do expect anyone that is long now is going to start looking to take profits where at your all-time highs. So for SPY, anyone that was long down in these key levels, they're going to look to take profits at all-time highs and above all-time highs. So I do expect a little bit of a reaction today, and we're going to now base it off of intraday price action. So the key level 613 here on the SPY. If we go into the ES, we can mark out some new levels here as well. We can mark out this, which is going to be the 6235. Let's go back onto the lower time frames. So in this case for today, the key levels that we can have marked out is going to be the 6206, which is in combination with your pre-market lows. So this is going to be our key level today here for ES. If you do want to see some continuation, it's going to be a hold of your pre-market lows 6207 here on the ES. If you go into the NQ, similar thing. This one is continuing higher. We're now above your all-time highs. We're above our previous day highs here as well, and we're just pushing higher here in the pre-market. So levels that I have marked out for the QQQ is going to be your previous day highs, 546.50. We can also mark out our pre-market lows here as well. It's a little bit farther away our previous day highs, but really this is going to be your best level for continuation higher. If you go on to the NQ, similar levels that we can have marked out now is going to be your previous day's highs, which is all the way back down in towards our 22,680. We can also mark out a pre-market level here as well, which is going to be this 22,737. So for the NQ coming to market open, we like to see either the hold of your 22,737 or this potential pullback all the way down in towards your previous day highs, 22,680. So for the overall markets, we've been fairly bullish on them. Every single day we've mentioned just look for a continuation until that all-time highs gets hit. We actually finally hit that all-time highs. That was the level I was looking for the past couple months now, was SPY to gravitate there. If you guys have watched the pre-market preps. So now really the game plan is, since we don't have any levels to look back left, so whenever you have room towards all-time highs, right, this is basically where the liquidity is resting. So we can expect the market to gravitate towards there. So once we do hit all-time highs, now we have to use Fibonacci's. We have to use key psych levels. We're going to have to use more based off of intraday price action than actually looking left, because now we're already at your all-time high. So all the levels we're going to have marked out now are just going to be based off of, right, last week's or this week's price action, and really your pre-market levels, psych levels, plus fib levels as well. So that's what I have for the major indices. Let's go on to some of the tech names that we have coming to this week. Tesla really hasn't done too much. I've been mentioning this one. Markets are moving towards all-time highs. Tesla, once we ended up having that mean reversion, not too interested in touching this one. You can see just a lot of consolidation. So key levels you can mark out now. Previous day highs, you can also mark out your previous day lows. For Tesla, key level above your previous day highs, 330, potential move back up and towards your 335. If we consolidate, break underneath your 322, that's going to be the next lower high for potential continuation back lower. Let's hop onto the semiconductors. Really, I've been spot on the semis coming into this week. Hopefully, you guys were able to capture some of the semis. In my opinion, this presented the best opportunity this week. NVIDIA, AMD, or any semiconductor in the overall markets. Once we ended up breaking outside of this 264, really nice push up and towards your 270s and above now, which is going to be your all-time high. So semiconductors looks very, very bullish still. All dips have been bought up on this name. We still have room. Room is up and towards that 283. So for SMH coming into today, with the levels we're going to have marked out is going to be your previous day highs. As for yesterday, you can see really solid retest right off our previous day highs, which was your Wednesday's highs, solid retest. Now we can mark out your Thursday's highs, which is your previous day highs. As long as you maintain your 277.50s, I like to see this continue back towards the upside here as well. So perfect retest off our key levels. Now we can mark out this. Another key level here for SMH, 278. That's going to be the key level we like to see retest for continuation towards where. In this case, we have your 279 and 283, which is your all-time high. So potentially could gravitate towards that level coming into today. Most likely, we're going to hit your all-time highs next week. But there's a possibility on a Friday, as long as you maintain key levels, you could see a potential big move to kind of end off the week. So SPY Qs at all-time highs. A lot of people, some people are expecting a potential pullback. We haven't really had a blow off the top, but those are the key levels for SMH if you do want to continue. So let's go into NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, really solid reaction right off our previous day highs, exact level we wanted to see the reaction off of coming into yesterday. 154 buyers stepping in. If I go into the 5-minute time frame, you can see super solid area touch here. Price came right back down in towards our 154. You can see all these lower wicks buyers stepped in. Nice mean reversion back up in towards high of day and your pre-market levels here for this name. So coming into today, the levels that we're going to have marked out is going to be your previous day lows, which is this level 254. Also your Wednesday's high. So I have this level marked out. And now the other levels I'm going to have marked out here as well is going to be your pre-market high. Sorry, your pre-market high from yesterday, and we're also going to mark out your previous day highs, which we're unable to get above yesterday. So I'm going to mark out this level, which is your 156.50. So coming into today for NVIDIA, if you look at this daily chart, we're at all-time highs. We're continuing towards the upside. Really, your retest level on the daily chart is back down in towards your 153. As for key levels today, what we're going to keep an eye out on is your 156.50 and your previous day lows 154. So a few kind of scenarios that we could be looking for coming into today. Let me kind of just refine this. Potential kind of consolidation, and you have this kind of push up in towards your previous day highs and above. We could also be looking for the retest later into the session for continuation above your 156.50. Another scenario, immediate retest right off the bat for continuation. It is a Friday. I'll be a little bit more cautious just because we've already had such a big move on the semiconductors this week. We've had SPY and Qs now hitting your main objectives. Really, there's not too much room, and you have to be a little bit cautious about this one. And then we also have the potential kind of dip all the way back down in towards your 154 once again, which is your previous day lows and also your Wednesday's high here as well. So those are the levels. Just keep an eye out on your 156 and this 154. As for AMD, this one has stayed a little bit heavy. Higher time frame, still very much bullish on this ticker. Within the first 5 minutes, got underneath your Wednesday's highs. Now we actually reclaim back above this level. So you can see multiple touches. Now we're reclaiming back above your 144. I do like AMD. Now hold above your 144 for a push back up and towards your previous day highs and above. So we'll keep an eye out on AMD coming into today. I like this one a lot above your 144. So 144 is going to be key. And we can also mark out this level as well, which is just going to be your pre-market highs along with your previous day highs. So actually 2 scenarios. This is the best one in my opinion, 144 hold for a pushback higher, or you could be looking for the break above your previous day highs along with your pre-market highs for a pushback towards your 147.50s as well. So those are the levels I have for the major semis. As for Microsoft, you can expect continuation on this one for a pushback towards the upside. All-time highs. Trend has still been intact, 500 key cycle level not too far away. As for Apple, a lot of consolidation along with Tesla, not too much of not a name that you'd be interested in, just because you can see this week's price action. We've really just been inside of your 199 along with this 204, right? No higher time frame edge, no relative strength. It doesn't have relative weakness because the overall market is moving higher. As for Meta, We can go into this daily chart. This one looking super solid for a pushback towards your all-time highs here as well. So 741 along with your 736. So for Meta, key levels back up and towards your all-time highs. If we go back onto lower time frames here as well, now once we're able to reclaim back above key levels, exact level I talked about yesterday, which was our 712. So hold of your 706 on the higher time frames, a reclaim of your 712 is going to look for a push back towards the upside. Once we're able to hold the 712, reclaim back above your Tuesday's highs, really solid push back up and towards your Wednesday's highs and above now, which is basically your all-time highs. So for Meta, key levels that we're going to have marked out today is going to be this 728 previous day highs. You like to see this level hold for this continuation back up and towards your 736 here and above 740. So key levels 736 for potential retest. As for Google, this one slowly pushing back higher here as well, 1 hour time frame, starting to kind of curl and reclaim back above key levels. In this case, the level we like to see reclaim is your 173. So 173.50 reclaim for a push back up and towards your 175 here and above. As for Amazon, nice reclaim here as well. Daily chart looks like we're trying to close above this 218. So now we'd like to see this push back higher here on Amazon. If we go back into the 1 hour chart, multiple touches off this 218. Now, as long as you maintain your 218, we like to see this start to trend it back towards the upside. So for Amazon, coming into today, your 218 is going to be key. This is also your previous day highs here as well. I personally like to see higher time frame retest, hold now above your 218 for this continuation back towards the upside. And then for Netflix, all-time highs, continuation higher. Every single point of resistance now you could be using as support. So coming into today, we do have some red folder news here at 8:30. Overall markets, all dips on the higher time frames have been bottomed up. As for today, we're just going to keep an eye out on key levels. I'm a little bit more cautious today. I've already had such a great week, one of my best weeks of the year. So I'm going to be looking to trade on lower size. So if I do see anything, primarily just probably continuation on a lot of these tickers. So just a pull back down in towards their previous day highs levels for just continuation back towards the upside. So those are the tickers, SPY and Qs, previous day highs. NVIDIA, keep an eye out on your 156 along with your 154. AMD, I do like the reclaim back above this 144 as well. Really, it's just been the semiconductors. Semis have been leading the way towards the upside. You had a couple of these tech names curling, like Amazon along with Meta. These ones look solid. Just keep an eye out on your previous day highs here as well. If you guys do have any tickers, you guys can drop them in the chat. I'll go over the tickers for the next about 10 minutes here until we have 8:30 red folder news, and then I'll develop my game plan from there. Alrighty. What's up, everyone? Good morning. On TradingView, can you have pre-market and overnight hours on the same time? On the same time? No, yeah, they're the exact same. So right here, you can see we have your after hours and then you have your pre-market. This is on TradingView. So 4 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then for the after hours, we have your 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good morning, Jack. Thank you for all you do. Appreciate that. SVC, let's see. Let me go over gold first. So gold, starting to push lower here, kind of breaking below our key levels. We talked about this, kind of this trend line, starting to lose a little bit of momentum here. Just a lot of liquidity being built up. Once we broke underneath this trend line, use this actually as a nice retest right off our key levels. So levels that we have marked out on gold was our 337, 33.47. You can see broke underneath this level, previous level of support, right? Resistance earlier turned into support. Holding this level of support once again, flipping back, retesting this perfectly right back towards the downside. towards your basically your 3,300. So for gold, really nice price action, just holding key levels. Now we're having a little bit of a push lower. Next levels lower is going to be this key pivot low from the 29th of May, along with your 28th low here as well. So for gold coming into today, key levels is now just going to be this 3295. You can see once we got underneath it, immediate retest, and we had continuation. This is really going to be your retest level if you want to see continuation lower, or if you want to see the reclaim potential kind of higher low off your 3295. Good morning. What's up? What's up, everyone? Jack, can I use the opening range break on the London session? You can if you like, and make sure to backtest that. I personally use it for the New York session. Also, there's other confluences that I look for as well. Good morning, hymns. As for hymns, you can see kind of defending off your previous day low. So key level for hymns is your 4260. So your 4260, you can see buyers kind of stepping in right off the bat, also off of your previous day low here as well. And it just went from your low all the way back to this high here, which is your 46, with the market reversing back higher. So for hymns, key levels you can have marked out is going to be your previous day highs along with your Wednesday's high here. So for hymns, you're at the top of the range currently. What you like to see for more continuation, break above 46 for a push higher. If it breaks above, gets back underneath, potential move all the way back down in towards your 4266, which is the low that we have for the week. Will you trade 0 days today or use the next week's expiration? Most likely 0 days on lighter size. We'll see if anything does shape up today after a really big move overall for the week. But if I do take anything, it will most likely be on lighter size, trading zeros. Would you trade SMH if the opportunity presents itself? Most likely not. Like, I like trading Nvidia, I like trading individual names just because they have nice trends. SMH, you could have traded this one nicely as well. I would have looked for a potential kind of swing trade on it versus a day trade. So I'd much rather look for Nvidia, AMD. Those ones have solid movers plus a lot more volatility and liquidity versus the actual NDC themselves. BTC. So BTC slowing down just a little bit, but just coming back into key areas. If you do want to see any sort of move back towards the upside, it's going to have to reclaim back above your all-time highs, 109,380 for this continuation higher. If not, potential kind of lower high being formed here as well. So I'd like to see the reclaim invalidate this for a push back towards your all-time highs. Executive order, that's why I like OKLO or a possible continuation. OKLO. This one does look, it's been looking good here on the higher time frames. It did break underneath your key pivot level, which we had originally. We had this drawn out, which is our 59. So our 59, you can see back from February here as well. You want to see the reclaim back above this level. So multiple touches. OKLO. You can see once we got above it here earlier into the week, we just weren't able to hold right off the bat. So now, similar thing, right? If you can hold above your 59, we can see this nice push back up into towards your 65 here and above. Plus, now we're building up more liquidity, potential kind of breakout here forming. Plus, you mentioned there, if there is news, there's a possibility we can see a nice move on this one. As for IWM, key levels that we're going to have marked out is going to be your previous day highs. IWM lagging a little bit behind kind of these small caps. Key levels I can have drawn out here now is going to be number one, this high, and now we can also mark out your previous day highs here as well, your 215. So for IWM, nice gap up here in the pre-market. Now it's going to be the hold of your 215 50s for continuation back towards the upside. As for coin continuation higher. This one's moving up nicely as well. We've talked about this one. Now the next levels for coin really I have is back towards your all-time highs. I don't have too many other levels. We have your 350s. We also have your 368. Now we have this down close candle here as well. So as long as you maintain above your down close candle, use this level as support. Next logical level is going to be your 400 key psych along with your previous all-time high. So for coin, if we're just looking at this week's price action, you can see how nice of a move we had towards the upside. Now, if you do want to see continuation, it's going to be above your Wednesday's high, right? A hold above your 368 for a push back up and towards your previous day highs and above. AVGO, similar thing, AVGO all-time highs. We talked about the levels yesterday for AVGO. 264, perfect retest off your Tuesday's highs, also your previous day lows here as well. Solid retest for a push back up and towards the high that we created here on Wednesday. Now for AVGO, similar thing, we just want to see continuation above your Wednesday's highs. As long as you maintain above your Wednesday's highs, 269, this is the level we like to see for continuation. You can see touch here. Once we got above it, now we're retesting this level. 269 is going to be key. As for Palantir, nice reclaim above our key levels right off the bat for a push up and towards the Wednesday's highs. Immediate reclaim and push higher towards that 147. Now what we're going to create here, just higher lows being built up. Next level we like to see a reclaim and hold is above your 147. Above your 147.60s, which is your previous all-time highs. So we want to mark out this level. We also have your 144 here as well. So you want two scenarios to form, right? Kind of these higher lows off of now. It's going to be this 145, or you like to see the break above your 147 previous day highs along with your Wednesday's high here as well. What's up, everyone? Good morning. AVGO went over that one. Palantir, Coin, Nike had earnings. So Nike had earnings. You can see it's starting to curl here as well, kind of finding a bottom. We do have a few gaps here on the daily time frame that Nike can gravitate towards. So for this name, key levels you're going to have marked out is going to be the 68 along with the 71.50s. This is the level I like to see you just hold now. So right now you can see a big pop here in the after hours. This is the level you're going to have marked out. What you like to see really is the hold of your 68 for a push up and towards your 71, or right, the break above your, now it's going to be your after hours highs for a push up and towards your 71.50s gap fill. Whenever you do have these earnings plays, just remember you want to see an IV flush. If it moves higher, very hard to trade, but if it has a pullback in the first couple of minutes, you can be looking for the IV flush, push back towards the upside. Yeah, HIMS already went over this one. New here, where you're getting that 144 level on AMD. It's just going to be this old pivot high, 144. 144 is your Wednesday's high. Wednesday's high, that was just your key level from yesterday. Multiple touches, plus it was your Wednesday's highs. This is the level you like to see reclaim. And you can see multiple touches, was not able to get above it, so no trigger here on AMD yesterday. Now we're actually above that level, reclaiming this level you like to see hold. All the levels are just going to be all old highs and old lows. As for Intel, yeah, this one not doing too much. It's starting to curl here as well. So we do have red folder news in about, actually currently we just had your red folder news. Let me pull this up here as well. So we just had some red folder news, core PCE. Let's just see how the market reacts. Okay, so we just had core PCE in the market. You can see forecasted 0.1, so about 0.1% above the forecasted for core PCE. You see how the market's reacting. So we're basically back at your all-time highs. Levels that I do have marked out today after this really big gap up that we're currently going to have in the markets is your pre-market levels along with your previous day highs, which is your 612 all the way back towards the lows. As for the QQQ, you can see very kind of small reaction here. Levels I'm going to have marked out your pre-market levels along with your previous day levels all the way back down towards your 546. We do also have consumer sentiment here as well at 10 a.m. It's your revised consumer sentiment, so it's not your main one. That's why it's an orange folder news event, but that one's also always a big one as well. So for the major indices coming into today, they already hit my main objective. So I'm going to be a lot more cautious coming into today, especially it is a Friday here as well after a really big move in the markets. I've also had a good week as well. So if I do take any trades, I am going to be sized down. I'm just going to be a little bit more patient. Most likely will wait for the first 15 to 30 minutes and also that consumer sentiment for any kind of major direction in the overall markets. But until then, I do expect every single dip to get bought up, right? We're already at all-time highs. Every single dip has gone bought up until all-time highs. Now, since we are at all-time highs, we just want to see the reaction off that level and see if any kind of sellers are going to step in. In this case, key levels I'm going to have is your pre-market. If we maintain your pre-market lows, I'd like to see this continuation higher. If there's a potential for a pre-market low break, then I could see this gap fill back down in towards your 212 coming to market open. Similar thing with SPY here. Sorry, similar thing with Qs. I'm going to mark out kind of this 547. If we maintain above this level, I like to see a pushback higher. If we break back underneath your 547 coming to today, a potential mean reversion back down in towards your 546. So key levels we can have marked out, pre-market lows for both of these names. As for some of the top watches I at least have today on the tech side, we're just going to see what kind of forms coming into market open, but it's primarily just going to be continuation on the semiconductors. AMD, one of my favorite ones, hold above your 144. NVIDIA now either has to get above your 156 or kind of consolidate opening range and kind of reclaim push back up and towards your basically your all-time highs now, which is your 156 as well. For everything else, we can expect it to just go higher. Just mark out your key levels, previous day highs, right? Gap up here on Meta. Previous day high retest would be solid on this one, along with Amazon. If it can pull back, these ones would look super solid. We can also mark out a few other key levels here on Amazon as well, which is going to be this pre-market low along with this high that we created from June the 11th. So this is also a potential area we can keep an eye out on, which is your 219 here on Amazon. Let me go over a few more names here as well. Then I'm going to call it a day and get ready for market open. Let's see. GS. Yeah, Goldman Sachs. This one looks very bullish. You can see curls started curling here. And now we had this nice push up and towards your all-time high. So key levels you can have marked out. Your 670s, now you like to see it just maintain above your 670s. Really solid break and kind of opening drive right off the bat for this continuation higher. Now key levels, you're just going to mark out your previous day highs, 689 here on Goldman. As for SoFi, super solid. SoFi, I mentioned we had this daily gap starting to curl here on the daily time frame. Gap back up in towards your 1750. Next levels we have on the chart is going to be your gap fill. Sorry, your 1780 along with this 1840. A little bit of reaction here off of your 17. But you can see super nice hold of your previous day highs. Once you got above this level, we end up using this nicely as a retest for continuation back towards the upside. Right, so those are the levels you want to have marked out. You can also now mark out your previous day highs, 1680s here on SoFi. Gold, already went over that one. AMD, how do you see AMD? Reclaim above that 144 is going to be key. Microsoft pre-market action is contrary to all-time highs trends. Why? Don't put too much emphasis on the pre-market highs. Pre-market levels. They don't matter as much. If you look at this daily chart, look at Microsoft. All-time highs. Look how bullish this name. Ever since we got above your all-time highs, retest continuation higher. Yeah, don't put too much emphasis on these pre-market levels. Generally speaking, Microsoft really doesn't have too much action in the pre-market regardless, just because a little bit of a slower mover and doesn't have as much volatility. So for Microsoft, key level 498. Microsoft, there's a very good chance we gravitate towards that 500 key psych level today, potentially to end off the week. So 500 key psych is going to be a key level. Good morning. You mentioned the adjust bottom. On the bottom, can you explain what it should be on and why? You can trade. Yeah, I personally like them for adjusted contracts on when you're trading the futures. So I keep these on. You can turn them off if you like as well. Either scenario works. So if you go into the daily chart, the only thing that's different is the higher time frames. Intraday, if I turn the contracts on and off, it's not going to make a difference. As you can see, I'm clicking the button and it's still the exact same. The only thing that makes a difference is on the daily chart and on the higher time frames, because that's when the contracts get rolled over. So ever since the contracts get rolled over, which is once a quarter when we have quad witching or the options expiration, right? So once these contracts roll over, there's an expiration on the futures contracts because you're trading futures. So in this case, that's all the price action from here is going to be the exact same. But if you're going to be looking at historical data and a little bit farther out, like your past 90 days to past half a year, right, you're going to see a little bit of a discrepancy because the contracts, whenever they roll over, there's a gap. So they adjust for contracts, adjust for dividend. There's a bunch of other things like the SPY just for dividends. So that's why it's a little bit different. But I'll use these levels because now these are the only levels I have left. So that's why we'll use those levels just as targets. Okay, let's see. You're the man. Hit the like button. Appreciate that. Let's see. If you don't mind me asking, why do you choose to trade Qs over choose to trade QQQ and Tesla? I mean, I know at this point you have your edge and everything, but why? I'm wondering in general why those. Right. So SPY and Qs, trends, Tesla, markets, whatever's trending. So you can trade the QQQ. Is also a tech name. I don't. What do you trade? Right. Primarily, you're going to trade either indices, tech. If you're trading forex, maybe you're trading currencies. Those primarily don't trend. Just a lot of mean reversions. Maybe you trade US 30. Right. I like trading in the break and retest works best in trending markets. So I look for names with trends. If you're trading forex, those. Let me just go on a random forex pair. Let me go on USD CAD. If you go on USD CAD, right, this had some nice trends, but generally speaking, in the past, at least beforehand, look at this consolidation. It basically consolidated within this range that we had for 2 years. There's no trends here unless you're on the lower time frames, and the trends don't last that long. So you can see we've just been in consolidation. So this is primarily more like forex. You're just gonna have more mean reversions. Everything else, I can talk about that potentially another day. But yeah, that is let's see. Hood, go over. Are you both waiting for the first 15? Yeah, today with this gap up here as well, most likely just gonna wait for the first kind of 15. Generally speaking, you want to wait for the first 15 to 30 minutes to develop regardless. So that's gonna be what you're waiting for. Hood, all-time highs, super solid. There's not too much to talk about this one now. This is my main objective for Hood. Next level, really 100 key psych level, but levels that we do have marked out is 82. Nice hold of your 82. Now we like to see if it can reclaim back above your 85 all-time highs for continuation. So for Hood, key levels you're going to have marked out is going to be your previous day highs along with your previous all-time highs, 85 here on Hood. Yeah, mainly trade futures. NQ, yeah. So NQ is the exact same thing as a QQQ. They're just different instruments. So NQ, QQQ, NASDAQ, right? They're all the exact same thing. All right. Which for Canadian stocks, just the main ones. Individual, it's hard to choose individual names. But yeah, any sort of ETFs, VFV, there's different ones. But if you're trying to buy individual names, those are always difficult. Keep rolling the likes. Let's see, all-time highs. Yeah, Fibonacci's. We'll talk about that potentially next week as well once we have more time. But yeah, that is going to be it for me today. Hope you guys had a great week. It's been super solid with the markets trending back higher. This is the best when you have a day trade. It's kind of the last leg of a move. Your day trades are doing good. Your long terms are doing good, and the higher time frames, like when there's a lot of volatility plus swings, this is when markets are in full effect. So I hope you guys enjoyed the pre-market preps. It's been a super solid week. Pre-markets have been fairly spot on. If you guys did enjoy that, I appreciate it if you guys drop me a like and sub. If you guys want to join the watch list, that's free in the description below. And I will see you guys all next weekend. All right, take care, everyone. Have a great rest of the weekend.